I found this really cool website called StoryboardThat.com that we're going to try to use today to wrap up A Christmas Carol. We're going to use it to go through and identify and create a comic strip that has 3 boxes in it. You're going to make your first box show the main conflict, the second box be the climax, and the third box will be the resolution. Of course, you'll see tomorrow when you watch this that I've already put the screencast here, but of course I'm recording it right now. So underneath here you'll see that there are a bunch of different events from the story. I want you to pick the one main conflict. When you think of your main conflict, you're thinking of the problem that your main character is working through in the story to try to solve by the end. Then you're going to select which one you think is the climax. The climax is going to be, can sometimes be the most exciting moment. It's the moment where the outcome of the story is decided. And sometimes it's a surprising moment. Sometimes it's a really sad moment or a really exciting moment. So you have to decide which of these events tells the climax. Then the last box in your comic strip is going to be which event here do you think is the resolution. Now before we can do that, we've got to go set up our account. So if you click StoryboardThat.com, it should take you to the link for it. And unless your name is Brady Toth, you don't have an account. So Brady, of course, we did yours yesterday as practice, so you can go ahead and log in. For the rest of us, we're going to create an account. We're going to click My Account. I'm a new user. And you're going to set up your name, your username, and we tried some different things. You can't put any characters in there other than letters. So use your first letter of your name and then your last name. So I'm going to use one for my son. And then we're going to put in our school email address. And then you're going to create a password. And your password should be the same one that you use to log into the computer, or into your Chromebook. So that should be your first, last initial, and your 6-digit lunch code. And we're going to click I have read and understand the terms and conditions in the privacy policy, and unclick both of these. We are not going to click anything over here because we're not going to connect it to our social media. And then once you have all of that filled in, register for Storyboard. Oops. And you'll see I already did this before, so hold on. Okay, I fixed that. I logged in. I went ahead and logged into my actual account. I've been practicing this, so I have too many. Once you log in here, it'll ask you to create your first storyboard. And you'll see that you have a blank storyboard that has 3 different boxes. If you want to play around with this for another project for your other classes, you can always change that storyboard layout. But for our purposes today, we're going to leave these 3 the way they are. And you'll see up here, you've got 2 rows of tabs here. You've got scenes, characters, textables, shapes, web, and technology. And then underneath here, for each tab for scenes, you'll see that there are a whole list of things. For character, you'll have a whole list, and so on. So let's start with scenes. I know that I'm going to start with my first event from the story, so it might be a good idea for you to go ahead and select those first. So I'm not going to tell you what the correct answer is, but I'm going to purposely pick one that I know that you think is not going to be right, because this is not the beginning of the story. So what I'm going to do is copy this, and in my storyboard, this is going to be my first frame. So I'm going to pick a textable, and you just drag it down here, and this is going to be the explanation of the event. You'll see that this is where it's going to go, but your text information has to go here, and I'm just going to paste it in there. If I want to change the size or the font, I can go ahead and play with that. But for right now, I'm just going to put it in here, and then I can drag it however I want to. I can make it bigger, I can make it smaller, I can put it up at the top if I want to. Once I have the sentence copied in here, now I need to pick a scene. So the Spirit of Christmas Future shows Scrooge Tiny Tim's death. So I need to find a scene that looks like that. Let's see, that sounds like something that happened indoors. And so if I look here indoors, I've got some choices. Classical homes, this sounds like something that might work here. Oh, that looks like it might have been how Scrooge's home might have looked. If I don't like that, I can click on it, hit delete, and pick something else. Ooh, this one looks just like Scrooge's bedroom, doesn't it? But I don't want to use that for this scene. Alright, I know they didn't have a TV back then, so I'm not going to put that one in there. I'm going to use this one. And again, once I decide where this is going to go, I can move it down here. Got my background. Now I need to go add some characters, and you'll see again you have adults, teens, kids. I'm going to look at classical era and see what they look like. Oh, not that classical. Let's see, 1600s to 1800s. Oh, there we go. Here's some of the people, and you'll see there's a little arrow here. Oh, that looks like the little hat that Mr. Cratchit was wearing. Maybe I'll put him over here. And, ooh, that looks like Scrooge. Holy cow, looks like this was made for you guys. And you can move your characters wherever you want to. He was kind of in the background, so I'm going to make him a little smaller. And once I have my people picked in there, I guess I need a mom, because Cratchit was talking to his wife when this happened. Let's see if I can find a woman. Oh, getting into the Native Americans. Oh, that's a little dressy. I'll put her in here. And I'm going to have them holding hands because they were happy together, comforting each other. Alright, once I have that in there, then I can go to my textables. And you'll see that there are different bubbles that you can use for speaking. Remember, if it's a thought, we're going to use the ones that are more like clouds. If they're speaking, there we go. And remember, once you put it in there, you can resize it later, but here's where your text is going to go. And I'll put no, not Tiny Tim, because that's what Scrooge said. And I'll show you how you can make this a little bit bigger. Oh, that's a little bit too big. And then I can resize this if I want to. Remember, if you resize it, I might have to go back in here and change the font a little bit. It's not cooperating. There we go. And I can drag that over to him, and then of course I'm going to have Cratchit be saying something. And again, I can resize that however I want to. So you can just play around with it. But the first thing, the most critical part of this is that you at least get your first events in here. And you know what? I'm going to ask you to tell me a label for that. So you're going to put main conflict. And then I'll put this one over here. And it will say, whoops, climax. And again, I can go back to this document, copy and paste whichever one I think it is into the box, and then make a third box that says resolution. And again, oops, copy the text from over here that fits. Okay, so that's what you're going to do today, and hopefully you'll have a little bit of fun with it. I think this is kind of a neat thing that I showed Mrs. Deem. Once you get into the Middle Ages, I think there are going to be some really fun things that we can do with this. So have fun. But again, I'm going to be checking this first as far as how you label and identify the correct events. I almost forgot the most important part here. Don't forget to click Save. So when you hit Save, it'll ask you to create a title. Christmas Carol. And if you want, you can add a description. And I'm going to put conflict, climax, resolution, and then save storyboard. Okay, and then if I want to go back in and edit it later, here it is. I can click edit and go back in and play around with it. So this is what you're going to work in class Tuesday and Wednesday in class. And if you need to watch the screencast again to learn how to manipulate some of these tools, then you can go back and rewatch it.